Welcome to the Fight Night Daily podcast. I'm with Ak, the man. Ak is back, Ak Reyes. We've just witnessed Anthony Joshua being taken 6 rounds by Jake Paul. We're in the aftermath here. The press conference is going on behind us. We yet see Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua out here. Ak, you were ringside, you were around the whole fight. People are complaining that Anthony Joshua may have embarrassed himself in there tonight, letting Jake take him 6 rounds.
It's ridiculous. Anybody that saying that doesn't know anything about boxing. First off, if you see how Jake was moving and clinching the first 3-4 rounds of that fight, you would understand. It doesn't matter how bad you are. If a fighter in front of you is destined to not get hit and not get knocked out, it's almost impossible to knock that guy out. When Jake was okay with exchanging and trying, even he was exhausted, he said, I'm going to try, that's when AJ was there to land the shots. AJ did what he was supposed to do. Not easy to knock a guy out as surviving, you know that.
Yeah, I do. I wondered early on whether he didn't have a lot of adrenaline and he was walking Jake down. Jake was making himself small and moving away. And AJ said, you know what, I'm going to take my time here and marinate you.
Exactly. Listen, when a guy that's moving like Jake, that's inexperienced, you're going to gas out. I knew it after half the first round. If Jake keeps moving like that, he's going to gas out in 2-3 rounds. And I noticed that AJ said, okay, I'm going to let him run around. Right? People are screaming, cut the ring off. Let me let him run around and gas out. Once he gassed out, what happened? He had to stay in front of him. And that's what the end result was.
The bigger picture, you and I are boxing guys. We go to boxing all the time. The question we perhaps need to ask is, did that entertain the fans tonight? Should we be seeing that again? Is that it now? We've seen that novelty. Should a fight like that between an Olympic champion, a heavyweight world champion, against a relative novice, should that be sanctioned and licensed by a commission? It was a one-off. Jake's a one-off, but we shouldn't be seeing a lot of these events, in my view.
Never again. We should never have that gap of experience,
the mismatch,
skill set should never happen again. I mean, to your point, Jake is an anomaly, right? Like, we can let him get that off. He tried it, and he even landed a couple of shots. But you saw at first, as soon as he landed the first right hand, even he saw, I can't hurt this guy. I'm not going to.
It was a pebble hitting a tank, is how I've described it.
Great description. So, I think it's in some sense we needed to have this. In order for it
to get
not
it
to
out of our
again.
system,
right? In order for
it
not to happen again. And look, let's not ignore that there were other fighters on the card who were watched, who were seen from places all around the world. So it served this purpose, and kudos to Netflix for allowing it to happen.
Yeah, Baumgardner was very good. Alicia Baumgardner defending her belts. Caroline Dubois was very good. She signalled herself to the American market, as you mentioned. So at least they benefit from it as well tonight, which will continue to happen with MVP and Netflix.
And that's what Jake and Nikisa, that's their agenda, right? Of course, it's Jake, but Jake has all of that in mind. Who can I showcase on this event? He did it for Amanda Serrano. She's made millions. He's starting to look, Dubois, she looked great. I want to see her again. Me personally, I became a fan of her tonight, right? And I'm going to support her. So I think Jake and Nikisa themselves understand that, okay, we bit off more than we can chew, right? Like, come on, let's be serious here. It's Anthony Joshua against a guy who just started.
Well, in a way, what happened was what we know should and could have happened. What happens to Anthony Joshua from here? I'm hearing very strong soundings tonight that he fights in Riyadh late in February against Rico Verhoeven, believe it or not, the world kickboxing champion.
No, look. We got to understand this is a business as well, right? This is prize fighting, right? I said it when they attacked Tank about trying to fight Jake. Let the man get his money. Let these fighters win as much money as possible. So if Jake has another opportunity, AJ has another opportunity to make some money, so be it. Hopefully we get the Fury fight, right? And I don't give a ish about what anybody's saying as far as AJ's performance. You have to be there in the ring with a guy that's trying to survive and understand how hard it is to knock him out.
But he did seem to go after him but couldn't find him for a while. I wonder whether he held back his punches at times and held him up a little bit for several rounds. That was my feeling for 4 rounds.
I do feel that AJ held back slightly. I
Yep.
think he wanted to knock him out, but he just wanted a clean shot, right? He just wanted to make sure the timing was right where he can land a clean shot, and he missed some shots.
He did.
But Jake was moving a lot. I mean, he understood what he was up against from the very beginning. He said, he saw it on his face. He said, "What the F am I doing in here? I do not belong here." And credit to him for lasting to the 6th round.
Well, Derek James, who spoke to us, obviously trainer of Anthony Joshua, said what Anthony decided in the end was, I'm just going to chop him down like a tree and wait for him to fatigue, because he was fatiguing in the end.
That was it. I mean, a guy running that much, and even grabbing and clinching, when you're trying to clinch with a guy that's 250, 260, strong, solid, that tires you, right?
It reminded me of David Hay going down every time he and Klitschko went into the clinch. Do you remember?
Of course, that's a perfect example. It's just you're going to be worn out. Jake Paul is not even a real heavyweight. You know, if he's in shape, he's a cruiserweight, right? So he was in there with a guy that he wasn't supposed to be in there. We all saw it. We all know what's going to happen. It lasted longer than we all anticipated. And it's due to Jake not wanting to get knocked out.
For me, he has to fight a big misfits guy next, like KSI, or a crossover fight with a Conor McGregor or someone like that for me, rather than a big name boxer again.
Yeah, I agree with that. I still think that let's give Jake the benefit of the doubt, and maybe he can go back to the drawing board and start fighting guys at his level professionally, right? Maybe not big names. If he wants to be considered for a world title, you got to fight some cruiserweights that are ranked, get ranked in the sanctioning bodies that way. If you want to put on big events, yes, has to be crossover fights.
Well, Jake suffered a broken jaw, we're hearing, from maybe that final punch. Here, the hard questions now.
Yeah.
Is boxing better or worse off after tonight's event?
I'm going to be honest with you, Gareth. I wouldn't say it's better or worse. I don't think it hurt boxing. I think all right, I'll answer that. It's better. It's better because there are fighters that people didn't know and they got a chance to see tonight, right? The main event didn't make boxing worse. So if we got fighters to be showcased, I say boxing is better.
But you wouldn't watch it again, would you?
I wouldn't watch the main event.
You couldn't be paid to watch it again, could you?
No, I wouldn't watch the main event again, but I would watch the other fighters on the other card, outside of the Tyron Woodley and Silva fight. So boxing is better to me. We understand now that that fight can't happen again at any level. So I'm okay with it.
I caught up with a few people involved with tonight's event. Let's have a little look at them now. Caroline, congratulations on a brilliant victory, retaining the world title. How does it feel?
It feels amazing. You know, it's my second fight this year. We got this on a 2-week notice, so very, very short notice. Luckily, I stay in the gym and very good on the weight, so it was not an issue for me, and I was able to accept the fight. So I'm happy to tick all those boxes and tick fighting in America, tick fighting on such a massive show, and tick fighting on Netflix.
And what about you took ringside to see Anthony Joshua afterwards? What do you make of his performance?
I took ringside for the Alicia Baumgartner fight, and then I went backstage, but I did watch the fight. It was an awkward fight. It was awkward, you have to give it that. But, you know, I think both guys went out there and they tried. You know, AJ was trying to cut the ring off, trying to land, and Jake Paul was trying to be as awkward as he possibly could. But he used every inch of the 22-foot ring, and he made it very awkward in there.
And it made AJ look like he was sparring at times in a way and taking his time.
Yeah. It made him look like that because how awkward he was being. It's very hard to fight somebody when they're that negative side,
Elusive,
that
almost.
elusive, that like that, and he was able to expose AJ a little bit, like leaky defense a little bit, slow feet. He was able to just expose that. So
Was there any embarrassment there for AJ in that performance?
no, I don't think so. I think it's a very high pressure fight, even though it's not pressured in the actual fight itself, but it's a lose-lose situation. He had to go out there and knock that guy out in like 30 seconds to be like, people say, good job, because they're going to always say, you're fighting a 12-bout novice, you're supposed to smash him out. And if you get hit with anything, people are going to say you got hit by a 12. So it's a lose-lose situation. So I wouldn't say he was embarrassed. I think he did himself very proud. And, you know, if people want to give him shit, I'm sure he'll be crying on the way back home on his private jet back home to his mansion.
And would you like to see him fight Tyson Fury now?
Yeah, of course. That's the fight that it's been in the making for so long. It needs to happen.
Derek James, once the trainer of AJ, now with Alicia Baumgartner. Pleased for her tonight?
Yeah, I was pleased with it. Yeah, I mean, we got the victory. I'm always about the win, regardless of how. I just believe in the win. I want to do it the way we want to do it, but at the same time, she won. She was successful. I loved it.
You've been around AJ, a lot and seen how big he is in the UK. People are complaining that he let Jake go 6 rounds with him. What did you make of it?
Think about this. They said that the world was created in 7 days, and he knocked him out in six rounds. So you can't please anybody, right? It took God 7 days to create the world. Anthony Joshua won 6 rounds? I mean, come on, man.
How did you see it? Because Jake was being evasive and moving.
Yeah, very evasive. I mean, he was very evasive. It was very difficult. I think that, this takes time. It's a process. You got to chop a tree down. It's not going to go down on the first whack. You got to chop it down. You got to be gradual. And that's what happened. He gradually beat him, gradually broke him down.
And do you think he'll be all right with that performance? Because he said he was a little bit on it.
He'll be. You want what you want. You want to win the way you want to win. But I think that he was okay. You should be happy with it.
Nikisa, he did it. He went 6 rounds. People are saying he embarrassed Anthony Joshua, even in some ways.
I think it was an unbelievable performance for a guy who trained for a Olympian, a 2-time champion, over 4 weeks, and went from preparing for a 135-pounder to a 245-pounder. Unbelievable performance by Jake Paul.
Did he break his jaw in the end?
He did break his jaw, yes.
What will you want to do with Jake now? Has he completed what he needed to complete? Will he go on? Is he addicted to this, and will it continue?
Go on in boxing?
Yeah.
Boxing is in his DNA. Boxing is his way of life. He just took on the biggest challenge possible that any young man at age 28 with 5.5 years of professional experience could do, and he's not going anywhere.
Do you think he did? Yeah, I think you spoke to Anthony Joshua afterwards. Was Anthony Joshua quite surprised what Jake was capable of doing in there?
I think, look, what he said to me was, I'm not going to go out there and say that guy is I him up. He said, I'm going to speak the truth. Like, he did well, right? He did better than I expected. And Jake did. Jake actually caught him a few times, right? And again, I said it up there, I'll say it again. I still don't know if I'm accurate or not, but on my unofficial scorecard, Jake at least took a round or 2.
Yeah, he did. The first one could have been a 10-10. He won 3rd or 4th round. Anthony Joshua goes on now to fight Tyson Fury based on that performance.
Well, I don't think he fights Tyson Fury next, but yes, I think I hope for the British fans, for boxing, those 2 guys finally get in the ring and do it. Long overdue.
And you're shifting the paradigm in Netflix finally. When do you go again?
Well, we haven't had that discussion, but we'll be going again in 2026, hopefully.
So Caroline Dubois saying Anthony Joshua won't be, whatever criticism he gets, he's not going to be crying on the way home in his private jet with his bank balance bulging and ready for 2026. Is that fair?
Of course, he's not going. He's going, and he might even stay in Miami for a couple of days and relax on vacation. That's
like
what
you
I'm
will
hearing.
be.
Yeah, exactly. Right. We both will be. I might actually link up with AJ tomorrow. So
I'm glad you're not talking about tequilas and strip clubs and stuff tonight. Thank God.
No. Truth is, I stopped drinking about 3 years ago. Right. I still like the girls though, but no more alcohol. Right. So that's what it is, man.
We'll be back. Again and again and again. It's been great working with you this week, Reyes. Yeah.
You're guy right here.
You've been watching the Fight Night Daily podcast. We're both horse tonight.
Yes.
HOARSE. It's been a bizarre and odd event. It always was going to be. I think it gave us what it was always going to give us, and it played out that way. From Ak and me, we'll see you next time.